The latest event, A Sage Gift, a story that focuses on Ita and Epsilon, revealed some crucial information about Sid's personality. It seems like our girls will have a happy ending after all. I'm pretty sure you'll notice it once you watch it, but to give you a quick recap of the event, it happened during the Christmas season. Epsilon saw Kai and Omega refusing Ita's request to help with her experiment. Epsilon then asked Ita about what happened, and it turns out Kai and Omega refused to help her. Most of the members seemed to be using the same excuses to avoid helping her, while Epsilon was thinking of doing the same if Ita asked her. This just shows that Ita's presence was enough to instill fear in the regular members up to the Seven Shades. Hence, she was touted as the most dangerous within the fandom. Epsilon thought that if everyone was avoiding her, it would hurt her feelings. To her surprise, the reason Ita felt sad was due to a lack of test subjects for her experiments. Epsilon told Ita about her behavior and it said it needed fixing. Otherwise, everyone would avoid her because of fear. She then suggested giving gifts since it was nearing Christmas, so she can make amends and hopefully fix her relationship with the organization members. It was also revealed that Mitsugoshi is the one who spread the Christmas customs in this world, answering some questions like, did Christmas exist in this world? Or did Sid tell them about Christmas and such? So that answers it. Ita realized that it would be bad if Shadow Garden kept declining her request, so she agreed to do it. To ensure Ita's purpose matched her looks, Epsilon gave her a Christmas outfit, and it was so cute. So, after getting dressed, Ita and Epsilon proceeded to ask the Shadow Garden members what they really wanted for Christmas. The first person they asked was Zeta, a member of the Seven Shades and one of the most powerful members of the organization. She is also a descendant of one of the three legendary heroes who sealed Diablos. And after seeing Ita, she had her guards up, showing signs of fear, as if she would be part of Ita's experiment again. Epsilon reassured Zeta that it wasn't about experiments, and that Ita just wanted to make amends with the members of the Shadow Garden by giving them gifts they wanted for Christmas. And after hearing that, Zeta was relieved and asked for a tasty fish. With the request acquired, they proceeded to look for another member, and found Delta. Delta, a Therianthrope with strength unmatched by any of the Seven Shades, she was one who mutilated Nelson's clone and killed Juggernaut, an individual who submits to Shadow and fears Alpha. But after seeing Ita, she showed fear in front of Ita, just like how she does with Alpha. But Epsilon reassured Delta like she did with Zeta and asked what she wanted for Christmas. Delta, feeling relieved that it wasn't for Ita's experiments, and asked for meat as her gift. They proceeded to ask the other Shadow Garden members at the base for their requests until they had completed them all. Seeing that most of the requests were simple, Epsilon thought that they could easily gather them and give the members their gifts. But Ita asked Epsilon if that would be enough. She then mentioned that Christmas gifts should be special, so she decided to get legendary quality gifts to ensure the recipients would be satisfied. Epsilon then mentioned several expensive items such as platinum salmon and Kobe beef, which are like bluefin tuna, and A5 Japanese Kobe beef in our world. Gamma, hearing their conversation, said that these items were sold in Mitsugoshi, but that their supply could meet the demand, especially during the season, so she could provide them for Ita. Ita decided to hunt monsters to get the ingredients herself. Epsilon was shocked by Ita's determination to show her sincerity and offered to help her instead. Ita took advantage of Epsilon's kindness and let her do all the fighting while she gathered her battle data. Epsilon could easily defeat such monsters, but Ita used a pheromone drug to attract them. So after killing a batch of monsters, more kept appearing until Epsilon was exhausted. After showing the drug effectiveness, Ita offered to let Epsilon use it after she fine-tuned it, but Epsilon declined, like wondering why she would want monster coming after her. Later, Ita revealed that another variant of the drug was designed for humans and would attract the opposite gender of the user. After hearing this, Epsilon thought of using this version of the drug to seduce Shadow. Epsilon no longer complained about being part of Ita's experiment and helped her gather the necessary data. After a while, they returned with tons of platinum salmon and Kobe beef, which surprised Delta and Zeta. They thought that regular fish and meat would be enough, but they were grateful for Ita's gesture and happy with their gifts. Delta and Zeta then apologized to Ita, thinking they would be used again in her experiments. This part of the event was heartwarming to watch, as the Seven Shades were thinking of bonding with each other instead of focusing on Shadow Garden or the Cult of Diablos. So after completing the easy request, they moved on to Alpha's request, which was tricky since the person herself said that it could be anything. Ita and Epsilon brainstormed about what she might like. Seeing Delta and Zeta happy, Ita wanted to do the same for Alpha, and was praised by Epsilon for having such mindset. Epsilon suggested giving Alpha something to relieve her stress, like relaxation items, and Ita chose bath salts. Ita asked Epsilon to help her make the perfect bath salts and became a test subject for it, until they created a refined version that relieves stress and enhances skincare with no side effects. After receiving the gift, Alpha was happy with Ita's gesture and even thanked her and Epsilon for their efforts. This shows that Ita really cares for the Seven Shades and is not a heartless mad scientist. So after completing Alpha's gift, they got ready for Beta's gift, a photo of their master, Shadow. Epsilon, who hates Beta, hated the fact that she would have to do something for Beta, and that made her angry. But she swallowed her pride and decided to do it for Ita's sake. They then explained the situation and asked Sid if they could take his picture. Sid asked if they only wanted the picture, suggesting there must be a better present than that. He even said that no one would want a picture of him. Epsilon refuted Sid's claim, saying that if it was for her, she would treasure it forever. While Ita said she would like a picture of Sid's anatomy, which scared Sid. So Sid asked again if they were sure about the gift, claiming that it was embarrassing even for him. Epsilon then suggested they let Sid think that it was a gift for her to allow her to take his picture. Sid accepted the request and challenged them if they could take his picture. Epsilon and Ita were surprised at how quickly Sid dodged the shots, forcing them to come up with a plan to get his picture.
取らないの？
主様？いつの間に背後に。もう一度行きますね。それじゃあ、はい、ブイ。また消えた。
おーい、こっちこっち。
After multiple failed attempts, they were starting to run out of film and declared they were giving up on taking his picture. Sid asked if they were sure about giving up, and they confirmed it by leaving. Sid, lost in thought about their determination, trying so hard to get his picture, was caught off guard by Epsilon and had his picture taken. Epsilon then revealed that the presence Sid felt when they left was a trick, and Sid praised Ita and Epsilon for their strategy and allowed them to have his photo. Epsilon and Ita were thrilled with the results, and they returned to the base to give the photo to Beta. After they left, Sid later revealed that he hadn't been caught off guard and he allowed them to take his picture. And his reason was that he felt bad for not giving them a single photo after they tried so hard. Now, going back to the initial thing I mentioned in the video about Sid's personality and why girls might have a happy ending with him, it's because of this scene. It shows that as long as they don't give up on pestering Sid about their requests, he will eventually give in. Okay, you might debunk this with something like, "Oh, this is just a game, bro. It's not canon, bro. Don't code so much. Sid doesn't lose," and so on. But we've already witnessed such behavior in the anime. In Season 2, during the John Smith arc, when Delta asked Sid for a reward, he initially refused, but he still gave in and promised her a reward.
世界が消滅したら嫌だろ？だから嘘はいけない。
消滅は嫌。でもボスが言ったの。
わかったわかった。僕も譲歩しよう。
Now, imagine in the future if the girls wanted a relationship with him, he might decline and even say, "What's so good about me?" But then, our heroines will shower him with reasons to be with him, and he might even try to avoid them. But When they reach their breaking point, Sid will cave in and accept their demands. And that's the reason why I think that they will have a happy ending with Sid. So what do you think?